I was considering making an actual like red dress for Valentine's Day. Actually, that's what I had in my head for the entire time I've been thinking about this, which has been a few weeks, but I got into the fabric store and I don't care for red against my newly dyed hair. I don't know if it shows up that much different on screen. What I'm really starting to gravitate towards is changing my wardrobe almost completely into whites and browns. I love brown so much. Ross and I have figured out we kind of like the dark / light academia look, and I think we're going to be diving headfirst into all of that sort of stuff. So I really want to go old-fashioned with this dress, and even though I will be wearing it on Valentine's Day, or the day we celebrate it, because we don't actually celebrate it on the 14th, all of the restaurants are full that day, so we do it the day after. But I will be wearing it to our Valentine's dinner. I really want to make it into a staple that I wear all the time. This is also kind of a thrift flip. I have made one dress out of sheep before, and that would be my Civil War-esque era dress. It's not historically accurate. I made that for my 18th birthday. It was a lot of fun, but that's the last time I used a bed sheet. Well, I found a king-sized 100% cotton sheet at the thrift store for less than $4, including tax, and I thought it was just a steal. And it's this really, really pretty light brown. It's got a very, very subtle stripe to it. I don't think it'll completely read sheet though. I think the stripes will just kind of turn into more of a design element than anything else. This is kind of the dress I was thinking about when I saw this color. It's been on my Pinterest board for a while and I just really want one like that. I'm gonna start ironing this while we talk about design elements, etc. Also, hi, I'm Robin West, a young wife, artist, and sewist here on YouTube. So I'm going to be using this pattern. I used it before for my autumn adventure dress and I just really, really love the bodice. I think it fits me really well. I think it's very flattering. And I'm so in love with the little tie at the back that cinches in your waist. I'm doing it again. But I think this time we're going to add a little bit to it in the fact that I want a paneled skirt, not a half circle skirt, so that all the stripes are a little more coordinated. I want to make the dress a little longer, and I also really want to add buttons all the way down the dress. I think that looks very, very vintage. And I do think that was part of the image that I found on Pinterest that I really, really liked. Also, I really want to add a whole bunch of lace to the dress itself. I think what I'm going to do is some sort of like puff sleeve that ends kind of right below the elbow with some lace around that. I think would look really pretty. I might put some around the neckline. I haven't quite figured out how I'd want to do that. And I think I'll have to construct the dress first and then play with it and see what I actually like. But yeah, if this works out well, I might end up making a lot more of my clothing out of sheets from the thrift store because this stuff is so soft and I think it'll drape a whole lot better than the normal like quilting cottons that are kind of in my price range. I like this a lot better, and honestly it's way cheaper than me buying 5 yards of fabric, you know? Okay, change of outfit because it is a new day. I didn't end up having a lot of time that evening, so we're gonna start now. What I want to do is use the panels from my pilgrimage outfit. This is extremely wrinkly. I don't know how well it's gonna work. I messed up on my autumn adventure dress, especially on the back. I think the stripy plaid was kind of going in the wrong direction. So I just want to be very, very mindful about how my stripes are flowing. I want them all to be very vertical. I think I can do that, and I'm thinking I might have actually like more than enough fabric for all of this. So I'm super happy. But yeah, I kind of want to split the front panel down the center so I can have a seam for all of my buttons to lay on. I think that'll look really, really pretty, and I think I might even split the bottom. Not entirely sure. We're gonna start cutting out all of our pieces. Now, as far as the sleeves go, I'm a little more worried because I think I've tried to do something kind of like a puff sleeve before and I haven't quite figured out the shape very well. The last puff sleeves I did, I used the flutter sleeve for the shirt pattern, this guy here, and that worked really, really well. I just gathered the bottom a whole bunch. But I do want to make the sleeves kind of more like this length where they end a little bit beneath my elbow. I'm thinking if I just use the top of this piece and maybe not so much of an angle here and just extend it a whole bunch, I might get the right shape. And if not, I'll just deal with it. But I think that's probably what I'm gonna try to do. I have enough fabric for it, definitely, and possibly more than enough to experiment with later on. We'll see. But I think I'm gonna give these sorts of sleeves a shot, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, got skirt panels, pocket pieces, the facing for around the neck. We've got the back of the bodice. These are our sleeves and sleeve facing. We've got the midriff pieces, the front pieces, and the ties. And the good thing is I still have extra, so if I mess up, I can always recut a little bit. But I think now we get to start sewing, which I'm so excited about. Now I'm going to try and figure out the facings. I remember this being relatively confusing last time, but I think I did it successfully, and I'm sure I can do it again. This just might take a minute to make sure I do everything as perfectly as I can. Okay, I started pinning the facing on, but I realized I wanted the lace in between the facing and the front, and I'm just going to do a little bit around the V-neck. So I unpinned it really fast, and we're going to try and gather and baste this along the neckline. I don't want it this thick. I think it might look kind of floppy and weird if I go with this. So I'm actually going to snip it in half, so it'll be closer to that size, and then gather both of them, and hopefully it'll be cute around the neck. We'll see though. Okay, this is what we have so far. I think the lace turned out really cute. I do like how the little shoulder seams came out. They're lower than the shoulder, but you know. And that kind of tags down the facing there. I think the next part is going to be gathering all of this down here and attaching the midriff piece. So I have the midriff piece here. There's two of them because you're pretty much going to sandwich the top piece in between the two layers. Because I want to do the whole buttons all the way down, I figured it would be best to have some sort of seam on the front of the midriff. So this piece back here is longer, but I drew a line there roughly where I want the seam to go. And then we should be able to gather the top piece and sandwich the two. Okay, I went ahead and did some top stitching here down the center seam where I'm going to be putting the buttons, and then underneath the midriff piece. And this is what it looks like so far. I'm pretty happy with it. It's going to be interesting to see how it lays once the skirt is attached. I think actually I'm going to pretty much do things out of order now. I'm going to go ahead and sew my straps together, baste them onto the front, and then pick up the sleeves. I've found it's much easier to put the sleeve in and then sew all the way down here than to try and fit all of this fabric in a perfect circle, you know? So we're going to do things my way now. Okay, now concerning sleeves. Okay, I ended up pausing for the evening last night. I tried doing some sleeve work off camera, was not happy with it at all. So I think today I'm going to start with seam ripping that sleeve, pulling out all the lace and everything, and just trying again. What I want is something kind of like these sleeves. I think they're really cool, very well constructed. This is a rayon, so it's a little lighter than that one. I'm hoping it'll kind of flow like this a little bit more. But looking at the construction of this, it's actually a sleeve piece, and then this is a cuff with elastic in it. So I'm wondering if I should try that instead. And then I can even ruffle my lace and put it around here so it drapes really pretty. I'm gonna go ahead and seam rip what I have, and then we will start constructing the sleeves. But once I have one of these sides done and I can pin this, I'll be able to actually see how it looks on me, and I'm hoping that'll give me a confidence boost and the energy to finish the rest of this. Okay, change of plan. I think for convenience sake, I'm just going to cut out the lace on top of here. It's only like maybe an 1/8, quarter of an inch sewn in there, so it won't take off too much of the length. I'm just gonna cut another sleeve and go from there. Okay, so this is the new plan. These are my sleeve pieces. I am going to gather along this bottom seam until it fits about this length here. And then there are 2 of these. I'm going to run elastic channels through those. So this scrunches up a little bit, and then I'm going to gather my lace and put it on the bottom here. Lots and lots of gathering, lots of elastic. I think it might turn out really well. I'm not counting on it to drape as nicely as the shirt I'm wearing, but I'm really excited to see how it works. I think that works really well. I think the top elastic is a little too tight, so I'm gonna restring that one. I'm happy with it so far, which is a lot more than I was expecting. Ta-da! Definitely a bit awkward because I've got a million pins holding it in over here, but pretty cute. Here are our skirt panels, and I am going to add pockets. So there's 4 panels there, and I'm going to attach them to this side here and this side here, and then pretty much when I go to connect these 2 pieces, just go around the pocket and then sew down. I made the mistake of not putting pockets on my autumn adventure dress, and I regretted it so much. I'm getting ready to put these seams together, and I'm starting to realize why I didn't add pockets to the autumn dress. That is because it's got a side zipper, and the pocket's definitely going to be in the way of that. So I'm not quite sure how I want to go about doing this. I'm thinking I might seam rip a side of the pocket and put the zipper down beside it instead of through the pocket, if that makes sense. I don't know. I'll have to do some thinking. I am going to sew up the side that doesn't have a zipper because that'll be perfectly fine. And then I'll do some brainstorming on the zipper situation. Okay, I think I've settled for going with 1 pocket. I really don't feel like doing the brain gymnastics for 2. I know it'll be a bit odd, but 1 pocket's better than none. Pretty much just something I can put my phone in and carry it around with me would be great. And I can do that perfectly fine with just the left pocket and not the right. So, yeah, the 1 pocket Valentine's dress. to attach the skirt now. We shall see if it works. I'm definitely going to take a hefty hem in, because I think last time I made this dress I had to shorten the bodice, and I put the ties a little low for that. So I'm just going to try and go like up right snug right next to the tie and see if that's high enough up my torso for my liking. Okay, are you ready for this? I am so pleased with it. I wasn't happy with it at all last night, but wow. Adding the skirt helps so much, and especially once I put the zipper in here, it's gonna look great, but I am so excited. It turned out way better than I was expecting. I think my next step is to put a zipper in, and then I'm gonna mess with the bottom here, because right now I have it as a slit. I think I'll keep it that way. I do want to put all of the buttons down, I think. But I think the zipper is next. Okay, zipper is in, seam is all finished down the side. I'm gonna try and figure out this facing. I'm not entirely sure what I wanna do. I think probably something similar to the facing up here for the V-neck. I don't know, I'm gonna give it a shot. I think I'm just gonna do 2 strips. So part of it up there, and then try and seam it onto the front of the dress, turn it inside out, and finish the edges. I don't know if that made any sense, but I'm gonna give it a shot. Not perfect, but I'm pretty proud with that. Not gonna lie. It's nice and clean, no raw edges. Yep, it'll do. I think my next step is to even out the edges down here. There were a couple that didn't match up. That always happens with me. So I'm not too worried about it. I'll just snip it so that it's even enough. And then I'm going to hem it once, I think, and then we'll figure out the lace over here. Okay, not gonna lie, I ended up sewing the rest of the buttons on at my family while visiting, so I don't have footage of finishing the dress, but it is finished, and I have a lot of thoughts on it. So many that I actually asked the opinion of a couple people, and I think I've come to the conclusion that I think I have 2 regrets on this dress. Number 1 is the color. As much as I like it on its own, I don't think it looks amazing with my skin tone or my hair color. It's not to the point where I'll never wear it or anything. It's just not the most flattering, and I can live with that. The second, I'm not sure I can live so much with, and unfortunately that's the sleeves. I really, really love how they came out, but I think being added to a 1940s bodice with a very dramatic skirt and a lot of lace and details and all that, the sleeves kind of tip it over the edge and make it feel a little bit costumey. So in future, I may take the dress and actually snip the sleeves and see if I can mess with them to make them a little more casual. But at the moment, I'm just gonna leave it as it is and see if I reach for it a lot. That being said though, I really like this dress. All of the lace, all of the buttons, the bodice itself I like a lot. I love the ties. I love how long the skirt is this time. I really love the slit. There are so many things I love about this dress, and I'm really looking forward to wearing it more often. But yeah, that kind of sums up the making of my Valentine's dress. I hope I inspired some of you today. I highly recommend getting a sheet from the thrift store and just experimenting with it. It is so much fun and very cost effective. I hope you all have a great Valentine's Day. Remember to tell your people that you love them, and I think I'll see you in my next video. Here is my Old Soul Valentine's dress.